Welcome to the My Business Podcast, where we sit down with local businesses and we talk about who they are, where they come from, and what inspires them to be in business.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the My Business Podcast. Today we're diving into the world of beauty and entrepreneurship with Karen Millers, a distinguished leader and a $1 Million Circle member with New Skin. Over 20 years, Karen has transformed from an enthusiastic customer to an award-winning entrepreneur, balancing motherhood and a successful career. Now, her journey with New Skin is a testament to resilience and the quest for a younger, healthier life. So if you're curious about turning back the clock on your skin, looking younger, and maybe even a new and exciting career path with plenty of rewards, stay tuned. Karen, it's fantastic to have you here. Welcome to the My Business Podcast.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Okay. So, firstly, can you tell us what New Skin is and what it's all about?
Okay. So New Skin's a company with a heart. And the longer I have been partnered with them, I've come to the realisation that they are so much more than just a global integrated wellness business, using the best of science and nature so that people can live their best lives. But they are, and they're also the world's leader in at-home beauty devices. Okay. So things for wrinkles and wobbly bits, which most of us have. But they also are a force for good. And they are all about giving back, sustainability, and being good global citizens. And they give the ability for everyday people to have a rewarding business with innovative products and an enriching and uplifting culture.
Fantastic, because we've talked a little bit sort of before we started here, and one thing I'm really getting to understand here is that the products are fantastic and give great results. That the company does have a social conscience, and you can't speak more highly of its culture and values, but also then giving people like yourself the opportunity to create an income and a lifestyle that's the envy of most. How long have you been involved? Can you tell us a bit about your journey?
Okay, so 20 years ago I was introduced to New Skin. I was 38 years old. I was a mum of two young girls, and I was living a life of juggle and struggle, I would say.
Juggle and struggle. I think we've all been there.
Yeah, so I had done lots of things in my life. I left home at 15. I came from a very large family on a farm, and so the only way sort of, to get ahead was to leave the farm and start living my own life. Mum and Dad didn't have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Left home early and started working. And I remember waking up at around 38, thinking, oh my goodness, my life hasn't really changed from when I left home at 15, that I was still working for somebody else. Somebody was telling me when I could have a day off with my kids. Someone was telling me if I could go to a family funeral. Someone was telling me when I could go to lunch. And I was not happy with that.
Yep, and that would be common. Very common at that age for most people.
Yeah, and it was a busy life. I was wearing so many hats, as most parents of young children do. You're working full time. You're being a mum. You're being trying to help other people in your family, and I just had no time for anybody, let alone myself. And financially, I'd never gone hungry or anything like that, but it certainly wasn't where I wanted to be.
Sure. Yep.
So that's where I probably was. And I was introduced to the company as a business opportunity because I was actually looking for a business, because at one stage I had bought a business. I bought a licensed post office.
Right.
That cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. And I was working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. When we bought that business, I had a 6-month-old and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
So you can imagine it was a lot of juggling.
Can imagine.
And we had sold that business and gone out and worked for other people again, but always looking for something else. And when I was first introduced, I didn't think it was for me, because I didn't think it was a real business. And I thought it was where you just sold stuff to your friends and then you had no friends.
Yep.
So yep. I quickly disregarded it. But what was interesting really to me was that the company was bringing out some technology called a biophotonic scanner that could actually measure antioxidants in the bodies through the skin. And that was really interesting to me because my family history was full of cancer. And I had had a cancer scare in my 30s. And so I was doing lots of things to be proactive for my health.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard about this thing that could actually measure where my health was at, or my body's ability to be able to protect itself from degeneration, that was really interesting to me. So I went along to learn about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the first thing that actually interested me, and why I actually looked at it, at the products.
Okay, and you started using the products then?
Yeah, so I got myself scanned with this thing called a biophotonic scanner, and I realised it was something that anybody that I cared about needed to know about, because my family history was full of cancer. And so I shared it with the people that I loved, and that in turn gave me a small income that enabled me to start thinking about this as something more than just a product that I was going to share with people.
Okay,
So that's
you
sort of how it started.
fell in love with what they were offering in the product, and just started to share it with those that you thought could benefit your loved ones from that perspective, and thought, hang on, I can create a business out of this.
Well,
which is what you initially thought, no, I don't want to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me, that was the turning point. How did it progress from there?
Well, what happened was that back then, and this is 20 years ago,
Yeah.
Adam, we didn't have the internet and stuff, or we had dial-up, but there was nothing on it.
No, yep.
And I had to go along to events to learn about this thing. And so what happened was that I met people that, and I mean this respectfully, that they were just ordinary people, but they were living extraordinary lives. They were living lives where they were creating memories with their families and their children, instead of yelling at them like I was to hurry up and get moving to do the next thing. And it made me stop, but it took me 2.5 years of doing that before I actually stopped and actually thought, you know what, their lives are so much better than this lifestyle that I'm choosing. And so that was the turning point over time, that I went, hang on, I got to stop and listen to what these people are doing, because I know there's a great saying that comparison is the thief of all joy. But I didn't have any joy in my life in the first, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I had great children and all that sort of stuff, but I certainly was not happy with where I was at.
Yeah.
And so comparison in this context was actually the thing that made me open my eyes to a different lifestyle.
That was the pivotal point.
Yep.
Wow. Well, can you share a bit about what rushing women's syndrome is, and how New Skin products helped you manage that lifestyle?
So Rushing Women's Syndrome is actually a book.
Okay.
And I actually have only read parts of the book, but my version of Rushing Women's Syndrome isn't just physical, but I was living a life of just always hurrying up. I used to yell at my children from the beginning of the morning to hurry up, get moving, so I could...
Rushing to one thing to the next.
Absolutely.
Breakfast, teeth, school.
Yes.
Pickup.
You know it.
Dinner, soccer training. Yep, got it.
Absolutely. But it was all... And I always felt that I wasn't enough. You know, that I was always feeling guilty about something, whether it was that I was at work not with my kids, or that when the kids had a sick day that I had to stay home from work, I was feeling guilty about not being at work because I wasn't contributing. It was all this not enough stuff that was happening in my head. And so they talk about working mums, but they don't ever talk about working dads. And it just there's a lot of pressure on people today to be more.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I always felt like I wasn't enough. And so working this business actually gave me the ability to be able to be everything that I wanted to be. And that didn't happen overnight. What happened just very, very gradually and very, very slowly with little goals and little steps. I started going from working full-time to part-time to being able to one day go in and sack my boss one day. And
love that.
Yes, and then I was able to live and build a business around my children instead of getting my children to have to live around me.
So it was a life changer.
It was absolute a blessing from heaven. It really was.
Oh, fantastic! I'd love to hear that. And it sounds like there was a fair bit of personal development going on in this part of the journey. How has this sort of played a role in your success with New Skin?
Personal development. Well, I had never really done anything about personal development my whole entire life. I always thought that that was all in your head, and it turns out I was right. It is.
Yep.
It is all in your head, and I have something with me that travels with me wherever I go, Adam, and it's called my itty bitty shitty committee, and these voices that are in my head that I relate to having come from a large family. I'm number 6 out of 8.
Wow.
And so I have all my brothers and sisters in my head, as well as my parents, as well as my grandparents and uncles and aunties and stuff that all well-meaning, but, can give you a bit of a complex.
Oh, absolutely. I think this happens to everyone in life.
Saying that I wasn't good enough, or, who's going to listen to you? What do you know? You only went to grade 10. You don't have, education, all that stuff. And also I grew up sort of feeling that I was pretty insignificant and get emotional about thinking like that. And the thing is, what I found in my journey with New Skin is that everybody is significant. And they taught me things about myself and about, the way you treat others that I had never really done before. It was sort of man in the business world. So I grew up in banking,
Male dominated.
Yeah, male dominated, nothing about emotions, just get there and do the job. Everything is black and white.
Yep.
And that's just not how life is. And this cookie cutter system of the way things are done, and people are not cookies.
No.
So it was a lot of personal development.
Is that done as a bit of a stream, as training from New Skin? Or is it just...
It's both. It comes from the company because the company has such a heart and such great integrity, and the founders of the company were all about giving back and that everyone is significant and everybody plays an important role in the world that we have. And so it came from the company, but then I also did it on my own. It was very much encouraged to grow and be the best version of you that you could possibly be. Fantastic. And that's really important.
No, I can see it means a lot to you, and that through your involvement with New Skin, that it really has changed your life. And I gather that's now what you feel so empowered about, to be able to do that for others.
Absolutely, that is the most important thing, and
not just financially.
Oh no!
In fact, that's probably down the list. I'm getting the feeling.
Yes. So it's really important, and particularly for my own children and the people, the people that I love. I wanted my girls to feel loved all of their life, and I know every parent wants that, but also to feel significance and to be able to do anything that they want to do.
Love it. So what does it? You've achieved great levels of success with New Skin. I mentioned it in my intro, but you were actually New Skin's South Pacific Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. Can you share that experience with us? What does that mean, and what did it mean to you?
Well, what it meant was, so we have a region that we're part of, and out of all the distributors or the brand representatives in the company, that it wasn't just that I was, that you're earning the most or anything like that. It's about your contribution to yourself, firstly to the company, but also to the greater team, because New Skin is actually a family. It is so much more than just people in their own businesses, because it's your own business, but you're never on your own. You're always working together and you're helping other people as well as yourself. So it was about giving back as well. And as I said before, I'd never been particularly good at anything, Adam. I left school at 15. The only thing I was really good at school was sport, and I wasn't the smartest cookie in the cookie jar. And I always felt that to be a person of significance, you had to go to university, you had to have a degree, you had to have some letters after your name and all that sort of stuff. And I was none of those things. And so to be recognised as Woman Entrepreneur of the Year was pretty cool.
Pretty special.
Yeah. And to show to my girls,
Yep.
my children, that was
Yep.
that was an important thing.
Sure. I mean, it sounds to me as though, being a brand ambassador, as it's called for New Skin, just has so many benefits. One, you can obviously earn a lot of money doing it, but self-awareness and learning some personal development skills, being part of this, what I can tell is a fabulous culture. And of course, then I gather most brand ambassadors would be using the products and getting those benefits as well. Tell us more about the products and what they do. And I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to ask your age, but anyone who is watching here on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify, you do need to have a look on YouTube, because look at how beautiful and young and well Karen does look here in the studio. And you put that down a lot to these products.
Oh, everything. If you saw my photos of me at 38 and now I'm 58.
58?
I look younger today.
Can I call bullshit?
I'll show you my driver's license. I look younger today than what I did at 38. And not only that, I've had the same changes on the inside as what I've had on the outside. You just can't see them, Adam, but I can feel them.
Actually, I can see them, Karen. It comes through in your energy.
So I love that I can help people look and live and feel younger naked, if you like.
Yep.
That's sort of my catch cry. And it's not about just naked without clothes. It's naked when you get up in the morning and you're just you.
I love that.
When you look in the mirror and you're brushing your teeth and you're thinking, and like I know what most of my friends that don't feel good about themselves are saying to themselves, because my itty-bitty shitty committee used to say that to me too. And I know I get up in the morning, I brush my teeth and I look in the mirror and I think, yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Whereas, and because what our products do is, and what the company does that is so unique in our market, is we have a range within our range called the Age Lock, which works at a genetic level to get our genes to express more youthfully longer. So most people live their life like a bit of a torch. So you think about a torch, you put some new batteries in it, you turn it on, it lights up a room.
Yep.
And when we're young, that's how we are and that's how we live.
Yep.
But over time, if you leave that torch on, it slowly diminishes until one day you're dribbling in a bowl of soup somewhere.
Yeah, true.
And that is true how most people live their lives. And I have seen that, I've watched it, I've lived with seeing family members living like that. And so what these products do is help us live a bit more like our mobile phone, in that when you've got a mobile phone, you can turn it on, it does everything. Even at 1%, that mobile phone does everything.
Yep.
And then it's gone. And so helping our genes express more youthfully is inside and out and outside and in, is allowing us, and this is my interpretation, is that we can live young all of our life. How old are you, Adam?
I'm 48.
Okay, so imagine
I probably look 58. We probably look about the same age.
Imagine at 90 being able to do the same things that you can do today. Living all of your life. And that's not about any gene manipulation or anything. It's about getting our genes to express youthfully all of our life. Wow. So my goal is to be one day just walking down the street at Burleigh and just dropping dead somewhere, and people go, oh my goodness, look at this great
She's died
bird.
too young.
She's died too young. And they look at my license, they see I'm 98, and I've just like my mobile phone, I've just turned off. But I've lived healthy all of my life, because people don't catch cancer, heart disease or diabetes. they degenerate to it. And so that degeneration is the thing that causes illness and even just our vitality, our energy levels, our clarity of mind, our sexual vitality. All of those things are really important for us to live young all of our life. And that's what our products do, as well as wrinkles, wobbly bits, wellness, weight management, all of those things.
Wow.
So I'm very passionate about the products.
I can tell. So talk to me. There's people listening here now who are thinking, geez, this sounds really interesting. How does somebody get involved? What if, there's someone who wants to look at this as a business opportunity, but for all the reasons you're giving, what's your advice to them? How does it happen from here?
Okay, so you reach out to me. And you know what, Adam? I don't even have a web page. My business has grown mainly through word of mouth, and people telling people about me and what I do. And so I have a Facebook page. People can reach out to me through there. I will get myself a web page. And we just start sharing. But, actually a question for you, really, is this morning, since you've woken up this morning, how many products would you have used that are helping for you for your personal products? So you brushed your teeth, you jumped in the shower,
brushed my hair,
you've maybe had a shave, you've maybe taken some vitamins. All those things are products that we have in our catalogue that help people every day. So all your personal care needs, the average family is spending, and these are Australian Bureau of Statistics numbers, the average family spends about $400 a month just on personal care needs.
Right.
And so that's a lot when you think of, over a year, that's $5,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's $50,000 a year. We teach people how to, instead of just spending that money, but how to, by sharing products that they love, as I do, I only share things that I love, that they can get that money back and put that money to whatever they want. Can you imagine over 10 years, $50,000, what you can do with that?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. So people can be earning. We've got people that earn a couple $100 a month, and that's enough for them. It just enables them to pay their groceries or whatever. And then we've got people that earn tens of thousands of dollars every month. So it really just depends on what's important to them right now. And that's my role, is to help people get what they want
out of
what we've got.
Yep.
Whether it's just to look and feel good when they wake up in the morning.
Well, who doesn't want to look better naked?
Absolutely. And feel better. I mean, nobody wants to wake up tomorrow morning feeling worse than what they did the day before. No. And so we can do that. And if somebody wants to earn a little bit more money so that they can sack their boss or put their kids in a better school.
You can do as much or as little as you want with it.
Absolutely.
But first step is to get in touch with you, have a chat, and see where it can go from there. How do they get in touch, Karen?
So I can share my number on here, my email address, so my phone number. Can I?
Absolutely. We'll put it in all the links, but shout it out now.
Okay. My phone number is 0413 177 939.
Say that again.
0413 177 939.
Okay. Email address?
Karen@karenmillers.com. That's because I don't have a imagination to think of anything else.
Karen@karenmillers.com.
I've got a LinkedIn presence on Facebook, and
jump in, get in touch, and have a chat, even if it's just to use the products, talk about the business opportunity, talk about anywhere this may take you. And as I said earlier, I think there's so much on offer here, whether it be from just the benefits of the products to the financial opportunity to being part of this, what sounds like a wonderful community with New Skin. So, look, thank you so much, Karen, for coming in and sharing your journey and illustrating the blend of personal well-being and entrepreneurial success that you've achieved. It really is inspirational, and I can feel the energy and how passionate you are about it. So, look, if you are, and who isn't keen to look younger and rejuvenate your skin, or if you're seeking a rewarding business venture, Karen's story does stand as an inspiring example of how this can be done and how, she wants to be able to help you be able to do the same. So don't hold back, jump in. She would love to connect with you and chat about the new skin opportunities. So, look, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode of the My Business Podcast. But Karen Millers, thank you for coming in and being my guest on this episode of the My Business Podcast. It's been wonderful.
Thanks, Adam.